Hello, Million Dollar Babes YouTube channel and community. It has been a minute since maybe about a year since I have posted anything or done anything on this channel. Many of you guys are probably finding me from the Universe Guru channel, which is my first and main channel. But I like to post about money and business and spiritual entrepreneurship and all the things here on this channel as well. So welcome in. Today we're talking about money, power, God, womanhood, spirituality, entrepreneurship, all the things. If you would like to participate in the chat, there is a join button as well as a link in the chat that you can access to join the membership, which gives you live chat access, and you can ask questions. And there's about I want to say about 10 exclusive trainings that are only available to the Million Dollar Babe VIP members. It's about 8 to 10. I'll have to count, but yeah, it's like hours and hours of content. So there was this thing recently that I discovered with just in the coaching sphere, that if you use the words money, power, woman in the same phrase, sentence, title, your account can get flagged and banned on Instagram and Facebook. Yes, let me repeat this because it was shocking to me, and all of my entrepreneur friends that I have shared this with have also just been like, what in the world, right? Like, what is actually happening over here? So if you use the words money, power, and woman in the same phrase, sentence, or in your marketing repeatedly, you get flagged in your Facebook groups, on your Facebook page, in your Instagram. And I don't know about you guys, but the rebel in me, like, I'm pissed. I'm freaking pissed hearing that. And I was like, okay, if that is supposedly taboo or illegal or will get you in hot waters, what happens when I add money, power, woman, and God in the same sentence? Like, is the internet literally going to break? Like, will people fall apart? Why is it so triggering for people to hear money, power, woman, God in the same sentence or in marketing? Like, what is it? Why does it ruffle so many feathers? What is it about like a woman having money, a woman being in her pleasure, a woman enjoying her life, her man, her children, her house, her cars, her business, her clothing, her body, her food, that gets people so worked up that there is now people like blocking your account? Like, what in the world? Like, I feel like that brings out that like the witch hunt, the witch wound, the well-behaved women rarely make history kind of a thing, that I'm like, okay, we're gonna change that. You know, my mom, I was raised by a super savage woman, super like badass. She was on the entrepreneur of entrepreneurs. Okay, she was like 4'11", 4 foot 11 inches of just pure fire, and her family and friends used to call her Sheena. And Sheena had this thing where if something triggered people, she would say, do it more. So she wasn't the kind of person that if you were triggered by her success or if you were triggered by her pleasure, that she would play small. She would make sure that she amplified her pleasure in front of you. Because she knew it bothered you to see someone in pleasure, she'd do it more. And she insisted that I do the same thing. She would say, oh, that thing triggers the person, make sure they see it even more. Make sure you're like orgasmic in front of them. And I would be like, Mom, right? But if you really think about it, look at the lesson in there. Most women are so encoded with their generationals of trauma and evolutionary history. It's like when someone's triggered in our presence, we dim our light, we play smaller. But not Sheena. Like, that's literally the mother I was raised by. She would be like, if it's triggering them, do it more. So if me using money, God, woman, power in the same sentence triggers people, watch what I'm about to do. Because this is my my money channel, I have decided that I'm going to put that in like every title and every thumbnail. And I'm going to trigger the hell out of the people that need to be triggered for that, because why the hell not? Why the hell not? If that gets people all worked up to see a woman living her best life with her husband, her children, her friends, her clients, colleagues, her food, her body, her clothing, her handbags, her shoes. You should see the outfit that I wore to brunch this morning. Like, it was perfection. I'm still wearing the outfit, but like with the shoes and the handbag, and it was a whole vibe. Like, I'm gonna do it more. I'm gonna just like listen to my mom, and I'm gonna flaunt what my mama gave me, and I'm gonna compound it, and I'm gonna trigger the hell out of Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and all the powers that be that for some reason have decided that money, power, woman cannot belong in the same sentence. And if I get banned, I will come back. And if I get banned, I'll come back. And if I get banned, I'll come back. And if I get banned, I'll come back. Just like the witches did. You burned them at the stake, they incarnated. You did it again, they incarnated. You did it again, they incarnated. And they will continue doing so until you get yourself right and either join or look away. Okay? If money, power, woman trigger you, either you look away or you join them. Because what is it about that triggers people, right? Why is it taboo to be a woman enjoying her body, her sexuality, her money, right? What is so triggering about that? I will never understand. For some reason, God just did not give me that brain mechanism to be able to even comprehend why on earth it would trigger people for women to have power and money. Why on earth? What the hell is going on? What is wrong with people, right? So this is the message of today's live stream of my work, my channel, is that do the thing that God sent you here to do. Stop worrying about people that are triggered by that. They have their own karma, their own dharma, their own inner work, obviously, that they need to do, because instead of focusing on you living your best life and you invoicing God for your sacred service, they're out over here trying to get you banned and canceled and all the things. Like, spend your energy wisely, right? Like that's what we're doing. The reason we are so rich, the reason we are so powerful, the reason that we enjoy every ounce of this life that God has given us, it's because we use our energy wisely, right? We're out here studying, learning, growing, alchemizing, ascending, all the things, so that we can not only have a beautiful life for ourselves, but we can create a beautiful up level and education experience for other people as well. So how to become, let me know that you're here, say hi, give this video a thumbs up, share it with anyone that needs to see it. If there's spiritual entrepreneurs or driven, ambitious men or women in your life that you feel like, yeah, they need to see this, make sure they see it, spread it, increase your barakat. Also, there is a way to join the chat. It's the $1 Million Babes VIP, and you get access to the group chat as well as all of the exclusive content. So, how to become rich and powerful. The secret code that's not so secret, it's like so obvious that I can't understand that people would not know this, is being of service, right? Finding the thing that brings value in other people's lives and then coming and telling them about it. So the best definition that I've come to realize about wealth is the ability to generate money. Generate value. Wealth is the ability to generate value for someone other than yourself. Wealth is the ability to generate value for someone other than yourself. Most people are so in their own survival. Most people are so in their own, just, getting through the next day, getting through the next distraction, getting the next dopamine hit or whatever the thing is, that they can never even look beyond themselves. It's all about, what can I get in this moment? How can I just survive, right? And once you can get beyond yourself and just generating value for yourself, and you start tapping into what is it that other people need, what can I give? What can I learn? What can I help other people with? That's how you become rich. And that's how your value compounds, right? That's how your wealth compounds. I talk a lot about cloud energy when it comes to money. Like, I cannot even believe we have incarnated in this time where not only do we have the ability, the rights, the legal rights, we haven't had those for very long. I've talked about in my other channel how only 50 years ago, it was 1974, 50 years ago, a woman needed to have a male cosigner to get a business loan or a credit card. Like, she could not get it just in her name alone. That was only 50 years ago. And in anthropology, 25 years is considered one generation. That was only 2 generations ago, which means that there are women alive today, right now, probably in their 70s or 80s, that remember that time. They remember the time when they needed their dad or their husband or their son to co-sign with them if they wanted a business loan or a credit card or a home loan or whatever the thing was. Like the Equal Opportunity Credit Act was actually passed in 1974. This boggles my mind. Boggles my mind. Because in just 2 generations, look where we're at. Women are now passing men in education, which is not necessarily a good thing. Like, I'm glad women are getting educated, but I want our men to be educated as well. I don't understand why they're lacking behind, but in 2 generations we did that. Single women are buying homes way faster than single men. In 2 generations we did that. Look at the sheer number of female-owned businesses now. I mean, I know so many women right now that are making 7-figure months, 7-figure days in their business in 2 generations. Because of the internet, because of the opportunities, because how brave we are, how courageous we are in showing up. And so if you are a spiritual entrepreneur, if you are a woman that's ambitious, that's driven, and you tend to hold yourself back because of fear of outshining other people, or fear of the persecution wound, or fear of being seen and heard, or fear of being canceled, don't let that fear stop you. Do what Sheena would have told you. My mom, Sheena, would have told you that if they're jealous, if they're triggered, flaunt it more. Flaunt it more. And I never understood this. I used to be so embarrassed of her when I was younger. I would be like, Mom, no, right? But I get it now. She was actually helping them. It's literally an act of service. It's like, oh, you're triggered by my success. I'm going to show you more. You are welcome. You're so welcome. Because if I can trigger you enough, either you're going to have to look away, in which case you're welcome, or you're going to have to own the fact that something about this triggers you massively, and there's something you have disowned. Maybe you want this. Maybe you don't know how to metabolize inspiration. Some people metabolize inspiration by letting it be their catalog, by saying, ooh, I want this too. This is a woman living her divine purpose. This is a woman enjoying every ounce of life. This is a woman romanticizing her business, her life, her marriage, her children, her clothing. I want that too. There's those people. And then they're the type of people that don't know, they literally get gas from you living your best life. They don't know how to metabolize inspiration, and they get gas, and it turns into jealousy, and it turns into trigger, and it turns into envy. Like, that's their digestive system. Okay, so they need to either pop some digestive pills, do some inner work. This has nothing to do about you. It has nothing to do about you. Okay, you cannot dim your light or start sabotaging your business. Oh my God, so many driven women do this, and I have fallen in this trap too. Oh my God, way back when I used to do this, I had some extended family members and friends that would get massively triggered if I was just having a beautiful day. I wasn't even like rich at this point in my life. If I felt really, really great, if I was happy, I remember, I'll give you guys a real example of this. This is like 10 years ago, 8, 9, 10 years ago. Was having a great day. And I had my other YouTube channel, which I started like almost 14 years ago. And I just felt really great that day. I was like tapped into that God glow, you know? I felt good. I was glowing. I was happy. I went out shopping. I went out to have lunch and I came back and I still had this energy. And I decided that I was going to pop on my other YouTube channel and I was going to show people what I bought. And it was literally like Barnes and Nobles, like, or not Barnes and Nobles, Bath and Body Works candles and lotion. Okay. Nothing like groundbreakingly taboo. So I pop on my YouTube channel and I'm just like, hey, like, here's my candle and here's my lotion. And I think I was live for maybe about an hour. And as soon as I got off, I had Facebook posts and text messages from friends and family, extended family and friends saying, are you okay? You seem kind of sickly today. I popped in and saw you on YouTube. Are you okay? Or like there was a friend of mine that happened to make a post right after I went on about how like, you know, Bath and Body Works is so bad and all of this, like this whole post and like tagged me on it. Okay. And at first I'm like, huh? What is happening? Right? Like I'm in this great mood. And especially with the person that was like, you look sickly and all this stuff. And I asked my husband, I'm like, hey, he's like, you look beautiful. He's like, you're glowing. And I'm like, oh, okay. I look beautiful. I'm glowing. I'm happy. I'm sharing my damn candles. And I triggered some people. Some people cannot metabolize joy in someone else's body. Could you imagine if it actually showed up in their own body? They would literally throw up. They would make themselves sick. So can you see that it had nothing to do with me? It had nothing to do with me. It's all just what can their container, what can their nervous system hold? And so I think I agree with Sheena that the most valuable thing that you can do for yourself, for your loved one, and for all of humanity is to really show up as your highest self, to really show up being of service, to really show up shining your light so bright. In fact, turning it up a couple of dials if you are triggering people, because they need to be triggered. They are choosing to lay their eyes on you. They are choosing to be in your energy. And there is a reason. It's because their highest self wants them to wake the F up. And so do not ever, ever, ever let this mean that there is something wrong with you, that is your fault, that you need to stop looking sexy or being glowy or living your best life, because that's not what they need. That's not what's going to awaken humanity. You stooping down to everyone else's level isn't what's going to create change on this planet, because you are a frequency holder. You are here to be really, really bright. You are here to be really, really shiny. You are here to ruffle some feathers, maybe even, right? Let me take a sip of my tea. I love this kava tea. I'm kind of like obsessed with it. It's caffeine free. It's so good. I'm not really a tea person until I found this tea. It's one of my favorites. Okay, so what else did I want to say today? Let me tap in. Okay, so what's coming through is that a lot of us need to be reminded that our frequency, our power is calling in certain people into our light. It calls in the people that are an energetic match meaning they are there and they are primed and they are ready to walk shoulder to shoulder with us, to go that next level, to be inspired and also to inspire us. So it's kind of like this collaborative, co-creation, shoulder to shoulder leadership kind of thing. But it also calls in people who have that same ability, but for some reason, they haven't awakened it. And their higher self has been trying to kind of like tap on their shoulder, continuously trying to get their attention, trying to say, hey, wake up. Here, I'm trying to get your attention. I'm trying to say something. Remember who you are. And if they are not listening, if they're not getting the message, their higher self will bring them to you as sort of this like jolting, like waking them up, shaking them out of their trance moment. And in that moment, when they are in your transmission, in your energy, they have a choice. Like this is an important choice point for them. They have the choice of saying, wait a minute, yeah, I'm inspired by that. Or this triggers me. Why does it trigger me? What is it about this? Like it's a choice point of awakening. Or they have the choice point of collapsing even further, of saying, oh my God, this is awful. Like it's like they go further into their shadow. In either direction, in either way, it is not your responsibility to convince anyone. It is not your responsibility to carry anyone. It's not your responsibility to awaken anyone. Like there is no burden. There's no pulling. There's no dragging someone, carrying someone on our back. There's only the responsibility that we each have to show up in our absolute highest power, to show up in our absolute highest light, to show up being so authentically us, so authentically in our power, so authentically in our joy, that we are sending this powerful resonance field that calls in and magnetizes the right people. The right people that are ready and primed right now to collaborate with us and co-create with us, or the right people that have the opportunity to use us to awaken or look away. The choice is in their hands. We're not convincing anyone, but the worst possible thing that you can do for yourself, where you are, I think this is the most selfish thing you can do, the absolute, like this should be a spiritual crime, is when you stop being you, is when you dim your light, is when you make yourself small, and then you tell yourself that you're doing that so you don't trigger anyone else. That should be a spiritual crime, because you are lying to yourself. You are not helping anyone. That is extremely selfish, because you are refusing to play on your courage. You're refusing to use your brave self. And then you're using other people as an excuse for you playing small. And I think that is a heinous crime. It is a crime. Okay. So what's coming up for you guys? I know I haven't been live here in a minute. I'm going to open up the chat to subscribers for a few minutes. Let's see what you guys are saying. Subscribers, custom. I'm very curious as well. How many of you guys from my other channel didn't even know that I had this channel because I haven't posted in a year? I'm so curious. Tell me honestly, how many of you guys didn't even know? I'm very curious because some of my like VIP private clients were like, you have another channel? And I'm like, oh my God, how did they not know? Why did I stop talking about it? What's coming up for you? And while you're typing, I want to mention a couple of happenings in my world. First of all, you need to be on my email list because I have, first of all, you just need to be because the email transmissions. And also I have a free masterclass for you guys. I have a money cord cutting, a wealth activation, and I'll drop that link in the description. It's already in the description. I'll drop it in the chat. Also, right now, today, I've just launched my Money Power God bundle, which has 18 courses. It has Huntress, my newest course that coming out next month, Huntress and God. It has all of my like potent transmission, like God, money, power courses in there. And it's on a early bird pricing. So that's also in the description box. Also, if you want to give your money limitations the energetic finger, I've got money come to me. Girl, so much has happened in my life like this year. I don't know why I haven't been posting on this channel. So I feel like I have to tell you all the things. You look so beautiful and radiant, Mina. Thank you. Thank you, Feather. I appreciate that. Hi, Mina. I so much love the weekend live streams. Yay. Thank you, Paula. We just came back from a brunch. So I'm like, ooh, I got some time. Let me hop on in here. Tomorrow, I'm actually also doing another live stream on the Huntress gene here that let me also, you can see that on my main page, but it's on this channel. So how many of you guys didn't know that I had this channel? Hi, I just caught you live after so long. You look amazingly beautiful. Thank you, Kat. I appreciate you, babe. Marcia said, hi, Mina, this live came at such an amazing time. I really had been thinking about how I've dimmed my light for so long and hid myself, but no more. I've made the decision to go all in on my work and business. Absolutely. You being of service and then invoicing God is the best thing you can do for humanity. I mean, even the people that don't ever buy anything from you, I have lots and lots of people where they just consume my free content and that has changed their life. It's changed their marriage. It's changed how they show up for themselves. It's changed their wealth. It's changed their health. And that is being in service of humanity. I still get paid for that, even though they didn't buy anything. How? Invoicing God. I get paid in blessings. I get paid in a beautiful life experience, joy in my heart, barakat, like I call it, right? I've written about that in my books. I get paid in actual dollars and the compounding of my money. I manifested $40,000 through my husband yesterday, and it was just such a giddy we weren't expecting that money. It wasn't like something that was gonna come in and we were kind of like, oh yeah, that's like 40,000. Oh yeah, like it wasn't like that. It was just like out of the blue, like, oh, okay, 40,000. Like, so all of that is still me invoicing God for the service that I have provided. It can come in any way. I've already said this to God. You can send me blessings and money in any way that you desire, God. I am open to receive it all. I'm willing to receive the blessings you want to give me in health. I'm willing and open to receive it in joy. I'm willing and open to receive it in pleasure. I'm willing and open to receive it in actual cash dollars in my bank account, investments going up, my property going up, more happy clients, more customers, more followers, more friends, more good, kind interactions with other human beings. I'm open to receiving it in any way. No blocks from me. You can give it to me in any way from any source. Let me see what you guys are saying. Fear of being seen. Yes, I talk a lot about this in my Persecution Wound Masterclass, which is included in Money God Power or Money Power God bundle, or you can purchase it separately as well. So absolutely. Work on that stuff. Work on it. I always forget about this channel until you mention it again. Yeah, Paula, I'm like really, I've neglected this channel in the last year, and this last few days, I've really strongly gotten that knowing from God that I need to bring this channel back, that I need to revive it because this was the channel. Like my other channel is like inner work. My other channel is like relationships, right? And I've been so in service in helping people reclaim their desire for marriage and kids and union and all the things. But this channel is also important because this is the channel where I help you claim your relationship with money, with spirituality, and helping you bring that in your business, in your career, in your projects, in your creativity. And so God has sent me that very, very strong message that you cannot neglect this channel. Nope. So I will be posting here. I'll be very active in here. Laura said, Mina, how do you release the fear of being judged and criticized to open up and speak your truth online? So Laura, this is a really great question. And let me riff on this a little bit. So I have been judged and criticized my entire life, like since I was a baby. I've had aunts and uncles and extended family members and cousins, and I was bullied in school. So all I know since I was a little girl is to be judged and criticized. I have been judged and criticized when I was poor. I have been judged and criticized when I didn't have food to eat. I have been judged and criticized when I wore Salvation Army clothes because that's all my parents could afford. I have been judged and criticized when there was like 8 or 9 of us living in roach-infested, rat-infested, like little tiny, what are they called, studio apartments. I have been judged and criticized where I was being sexually molested and abused as a child. I have been judged and criticized for the color of my skin, for the way that I speak, for the size of my eyes, believe it or not, for the fact that I have curly hair. I have it kind of like straight today, so you can't tell, but I have naturally curly hair. I have been judged and criticized for my accent. And then I was judged and criticized for my intelligence. I was told that I'm too dumb. When I applied to Northwestern University, people were literally falling off the chairs laughing. And they were saying, please tell us you have a plan B. Plan B, I said, no, that's the school I'm going to go to. And that's the school I got into. I was judged and criticized when I was in corporate, when I started my first business, which was my real estate business, when I started my second business, which was my construction business in my 20s, when I started making multiple 6 figures a year in my 20s, I was judged and criticized. When I bought my dream car, I was judged and criticized. When I had 20 properties, investment properties, as a single mother, I was judged and criticized. When I was going through my divorce, I was judged and criticized. When I got remarried, I was judged and criticized. When I became a stay-at-home mom, I was judged and criticized. When I had rheumatoid arthritis, I was judged and criticized. When I healed my rheumatoid arthritis, I was judged and criticized. When my husband was providing for me and I was having babies and just loving life, I was judged and criticized. When we became multimillionaires and were featured on the Dave Ramsey show, I was judged and criticized. When I started this business, my TheUniverseGuru business, I was judged and criticized. When I started making money in my business right away, I was judged and criticized. When I get sexier and hotter and enjoy my life more, I'm judged and criticized. The relationship that I have with my husband and my kids, I'm judged and criticized. So I've learned in my 43, I'll be 44 next month. So my angel birthday is coming up. I will be judged and criticized no matter what I do. No matter what I do. I've shared the story often on my other channel. I'll share it here. When I was a single mom, my son was 18 months old. I was really in the middle of it. I had just gotten the divorce had just been finalized. I had money coming in from my business. Like I was doing well on the outside, but I was broken from that divorce. And I had a moment where I thought about taking my life while my son was napping. And let me tell you something about this. During that time in my life, where I was at rock bottom emotionally and spiritually, people were judging and criticizing me. So if they're going to judge and criticize me, whether I'm poor or a decamillionaire, if they're gonna judge me and criticize me, whether I'm a stay-at-home mom, a single mom, a working mom, a business mom, this kind of mom, that kind of mom, this woman, that woman, curly hair, straight hair, fat, skinny, I might as well just be hot and sexy and rich. They're gonna judge and criticize me anyways. I might as well create heaven on earth. So that's what I did. I said, God, if there's one thing I have experience in, it's being judged and criticized. I've mastered it. I have mastered being judged and criticized and still be in heaven, still be creating heaven on earth. Like I feel orgasmic amounts of joy in the most simplest things in life. Like getting dressed this morning to go out to brunch with my family. Oh, when my husband holds my hand while we're driving somewhere, oh my, I can cry tears of joy from that. So that is a gift to humanity. If someone's like, I wonder if there's some human being that can create heaven on earth, have the most beautiful romantic relationship with their kids, with their husband, with their body, with their clients, while being judged and criticized, my hand would go up first. God would say, I've got one for you. So any humans right now that are like in despair and they pray out to God and say, I'm really judged and criticized. I need help. Show me the way. I'm the one that shows up in their life. And they tell me that all the time, that I prayed. I cried to God and I prayed, and then I found you. So if that's what I'm supposed to be doing in this planet, and the price for that is that I get judged and criticized, so be it. So be it. Because I get to invoice God at the end of that. Absolutely love this topic. Thank you. You're so welcome. I haven't seen you in a minute, Panther. It's so nice to see you. I've got my $1 Million Babes crew here. Femme Photon, I am obsessed with your handle, and thank you for supporting the channel. Welcome to $1 Million Babes VIP. Thank you for supporting me, babe. Love from South Africa. How is Kainat going? Oh my God, Kainat is fire. The women in there are next level, like visionary women. It's fire. It's fire. I love it there. By the way, on 11/11 in Kainat Success Academy, which is my 1-year container with me, mentorship, we start the next semester, which is prosperity and manifestation. So that's what's happening in there. All of these links are in the description box, and you can also find them on TheUniverseGuru.com. The crazy thing is they're going to talk about you anyway. Who cares where they think? Easier said than done. Yep. I've actually brought so much wealth into people's hands by them just saying my name. I shared this example many times, but maybe not on this channel. Let me share this again. When I went to, so my cousin's daughter, so like she would be, yeah, I don't know, like I guess my second cousin, my cousin's daughter was getting married in Pakistan, and my mom wanted me to go. So I went with my mom to attend the wedding. When I was there, I was shopping. And so I told one of my cousins that I wanted to go shopping, and she took me to this market. And there was this jewelry store that I walked into. Tell me if you've heard me tell this story. So I go to this jewelry store, and I bought a couple of like chains from there. These beautiful, just like gold chains. And I've never had shopped at this jewelry store before. I don't mean, like it's in a different country. In Pakistan, it was my first experience there. And then I came back to the US after the wedding. I forgot about that jewelry store, right? Well, about a decade and a half years later, my other cousin was she's telling me how she was like, your favorite jewelry store in Pakistan, that guy. And I'm like, my favorite jewelry store in Pakistan. I'm like, pretty sure I've only like bought jewelry from there like once myself. My mom would buy me stuff, but I'm like, what's my favorite jewelry store? She's like, the one that's known as Mina's favorite jewelry store. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? And she's like, you don't know? And I'm like, no. She's like, remember when you went to, she said my cousin's daughter's name, her wedding. I'm like, yeah. She's like, you remember you went to this jewelry store? I'm like, yeah, I went to that jewelry store. I bought a couple of chains. She's like, yeah. She's like, that guy is known as Mina's favorite jewelry store, and he's became a multi-millionaire. And I said, really? How? And she said, because everyone in Pakistan said, this is where Mina shops. And I'm like, why would people care where I shop? And apparently it became a thing because my cousin, when she told all my other cousins, and then they told all their friends that, oh, Mina like this is her jewelry store. This is where she shops. And that guy became a multimillionaire. I had no idea. So I'm telling you this because some people just have this frequency. And here's how you can become those some people. Connect with that frequency of God. When you are in your highest truth, when you, no matter what your life circumstances, enjoy your life. When you are in extreme gratitude and connection with the divine, anything you touch becomes wealthy. I went to that guy's jewelry store once. If I ever go back to Pakistan, I'll go again and visit this guy and be like, hi, probably doesn't even know I freaking exist, other than the fact that people walk in and say, isn't this Mina's favorite jewelry store? And he probably goes, yeah. Right? So who the hell is that woman? He doesn't even know who I am. But you become such a powerful frequency, such a powerful force that people who say your name on their lips become wealthy. Do you know what YouTube informed me recently? They assigned, like, there's like these, once you're at a certain level, they assign these like YouTube partners where, you know, it's like your own YouTube coach, and they're employees of YouTube. They said that my company name and my name, Mina Irfan, is been deemed in a niche now. It's a niche. So to give you an example, feminine energy is a niche. Gaming is a niche. Finance is a niche. Relationships is a niche. Mina Irfan is a niche. That blows my mind, but I know it's all God. It's all God. Because if you are that much of a power force that anyone that comes into your field becomes wealthy, they're activated, they're inspired. Now, obviously, some people are negatively inspired. Again, like I said, they can't metabolize inspiration. They're more with the denser forces. They still become rich by using my name. You're welcome. So that's the power that I'm inviting you to hold. Can you be that authentically, like in your higher self? Can you be that much in the resonance field of the divine that anyone that comes even close to your field, even if they're just getting your transmission from the damn internet, that's how powerful you are, that they become wealthy. That's why they can't stop watching you. That's why they become obsessed with you. Do you know that people who hate watch me transform their lives? People who hate watch me transform their lives. I've shared the story in the persecution wound, I think, or maybe it was Kainat, but let me share it again. So many years ago, I had a client come in, and she was the daughter of a very wealthy man, and she was having a lot of psychological and emotional issues. She had restraining orders against her, like serious stuff. And he had paid me a lot of money to work with her privately. It's doing like deep inner work. And if I guesstimate, at that time, I was a newer coach then, so I wasn't charging a lot, but her dad had paid about $50,000 while she was in my world. One day we were on a private call, and I happened to ask her, I said, oh, babe, I've never asked you, how did you find me? Was it your dad that found me or you found me? She went pale as a ghost when I asked her this, and I was like, that's interesting. I could see her energy change. Long story short, apparently someone I used to know was having hate watch parties. So this woman would make popcorn, order pizza, and invite all of her friends and family members to come. And then they would play my videos and make fun of me. And what happened is that this client, she wasn't a client at that time, but this woman was invited to those hate watch parties. And she watched me and she watched me and she watched me. And eventually she stopped going to those hate parties and she would just watch me when she was feeling down. And her exact words were that when she was at her deepest and darkest moments, when she was really in it, she would watch me and she would play my videos while she would go to sleep. She would play my videos while she had negative thoughts about taking her life and all kinds of things. And she started transforming, she started changing, and her dad noticed. And then her dad offered, he said, he asked her you're doing good, you're doing well. And she told her dad about me. And her dad was like, well, what is this? Like, is this woman a coach? Like, is she a therapist? It's like, what can I do? And she told, oh, she has coaching. Her dad started buying my stuff for her. And what I've learned from this experience is that even people that hate you, that can't stand you, that are jealous of you, that are envious of you, that want to take you down, are transformed by your work. You're welcome. You're welcome. And you get to invoice God for that. Because you think God's not noticing that? That gets written in your barakat. Your barakat is your bank account in the heavens. And that you get to cash that in now. Your children become the beneficiaries of that account. Your children are already trust fund babies because the deeds that you do, they are impacted by those. And so now, if I know people are watching me out of jealousy, if they're watching me out of hate, I still know that their life is being changed. Their life is being transformed. Because you cannot be in my frequency without activating God in yours. You cannot. And so you might think that you are hate watching me, but you are getting closer to God, even if you're hate watching me. You're welcome. And you best believe I'm invoicing God for that. Your page always uplifts me. Whenever I feel lost, I am like, I need Mina. Sarah, that means the world to me. I'm so happy to hear that. I used to watch you when I was deeply depressed too. I would play your videos every night before going to sleep. When you guys say that to me, like, I'm just humbled. I'm just humbled that I get to do this. That's God power. That's God frequency. God brought us together to uplift each other. I fully receive that, and I know that's all Him. I'm 16 years old, Mina. Do you have any advice for me I can work on right now? Yes, babe. So if you can grab my Lady Balls book, I would highly recommend it because in that book, I talk about having seasons and eras in our life. So right now, being 16, you are in that era of your life where I would invite you to skill stack. Read a lot of books. Watch people that uplift you. Take courses or certifications. If you don't have, I mean, you're 16, so you might not have a lot of money right now, right? Maybe for birthdays and holidays, you can ask your parents to enroll you in things that you can learn some skills. Skills that can help you make money later, they can expand your mind. Also, there's websites such as Coursera.com. What's the other one? Shoot. Oh, EduX. There's some websites where you can take courses from like really esteemed universities like Harvard and Princeton, Stanford, even Northwestern University, like so many universities for free. They offer classes for free. Now, at the end, you can pay if you want to get their certificate, but it's optional. So I would say get as educated as you can so your mind expands. Education polishes us. Education opens our mind. It opens up our auric field. It opens us to ideas. It teaches us how to think, how to process information. And so that would be my biggest advice for you. Someone said Udemy. I don't know if Udemy is free, but I know Coursera is definitely free. with how my life has changed and the way I experience God now, I can be confident to say you saved my life. I was probably depressed and sick, and then I found you. Thank you, Paula. That means so much. You know, I think when we are open to receiving help, and we have those moments when we genuinely, with an open heart, cry out to God in help, we ask for support, God sends us the people that are an energetic match for us. And that's exactly what happened. You were in a receptive state, you asked God for help, and somehow I was the one that was the path of least resistance. Thank you so much. I'm so happy I found you at 16. You're turning my life around. I'm so happy to hear that, gorgeous. That makes me so happy. To be doing your inner work at 16, like, I feel like the next generation is just so highly spiritual and just so much evolved. Like, obviously, every generation is more evolved than the previous one, but I feel like the next one skipped a couple of steps. They're like, skipped a couple of levels. I talk about this all the time with friends and family. I was having this conversation with one of my private clients as well, how the next generation, that's why you see a lot of content right now where they're trying to convince the new generations that they're behind and they're dumb and they're broken. It's a whole thing. You are not broken. You're not dumb. You are very spiritually awake. You can see through the BS, and people are scared of your power. That's what's happening. They're trying to distract you. I heard the story, but love your storytelling. Thank you, CXT. You have told the story before, and your family wanted to buy from there. Your name is gold. Thank you. Hi, Donna from sunny Florida. I hope you and your family are safe from all of the recent storming. You are made for this, Mina. We are so blessed to have you. Thank you for shining your little light. Thank you. I'm so happy to have be back on this channel. It's so interesting. Tell me if you notice this. Frequency wise, like both of my channels are very high frequency. Like I'm very much in tune to frequency, but for some reason they're very different. I can't explain it. It's like my other channel puts me more in my teacher frequency and my mentorship frequency, but this channel puts me more in my God frequency, like my God self, higher self frequency. It's very subtle, but it's huge at the same time. Tell me if you felt that. I felt the distraction with my business and with how powerful I am. I always thought being too young and something that holds me back being 23. No, babe. Okay, Marcia, we have to talk about this. I hear this all the time. Women saying, I'm too young, I'm too old, I'm married, or I'm single, or I'm a mom, or I'm not a mom. It's like we all can make 1,001 excuses for why something should not work for us because I'm too young, I'm too old, I'm too skinny, I'm too fat, I live here, I don't live here, I'm married, I'm single, I have kids, I don't have kids. But the truth is, all of that, whatever your circumstances is there to serve you. So whatever your situation is, say, because of this, I will make money. Because of this, I will be in service. Because that is your authentic truth of the moment. And that doesn't mean it doesn't get to evolve. One of the biggest messages that I have in Lady Balls is that women create in seasons. We create in eras. We're always driven. We're always ambition. That's foundational. We're always in our highest frequency. We're always connected to God, but we do create in seasons. So I'm done with the excuses. For every woman that tells me she's having a hard time in her business because she's single, I have another one telling me she's having a hard time because she's married. For every woman that says she's having trouble because she has kids, I have another one telling me if I had kids, it'd be easier. So these are just excuses and limitations of the ego, of the devil, of the lower self. It doesn't mean anything until we give it meaning. If you can turn your seemingly liabilities into superpowers, into assets, no matter what the thing is, it will serve you. I believe that no matter where I'm planted, I can bloom. Whatever the thing is, whatever the circumstances, that is the exact thing that I will use to be the excuse for my success, because success is guaranteed. I already decided. Like God already told me, like, get rich or die trying. Like, it's done. He's already decided that I get to be successful. I just had to say yes, because even he will not do anything without your free will. This channel in particular feels like it's helping in an important way, and especially now. Awesome music. I'm happy to hear that. It attracts basic babes. Sorry, this one attracts a different type. Possible. Possible. The thing is, even the basic babes that we attract, we help them. Because remember I said if they're in our frequency, there's something in them that is bringing them there. And as long as I can focus on their God self, their higher self, their personal power, there's something there. It's an opening. It's an invitation. So they're welcome to watch. Let's see. I say this with tears in my eyes, but I wish I would have found you at least 10 years ago. But I do know that I found you when I needed to. I know I wasn't ready before. Yes, and babe, remember that in the quantum, time is not linear. It's not a linear experience. And what's been one of the most like awakening experiences of my life is that the more inner work that I've done in the present, the more my past and my future has changed. Like my past timelines have literally transformed from the inner work that I've done in the now. And so because it's your intention that you would have found me 10 years ago, you have. You have. And watch that the more you integrate and activate your highest self into your now, the more your reality in all directions and time space will change. This has been one of the biggest, like, kind of spooky kind of awareness things for me, is how my past stories have changed. My past timelines have changed when I've done inner work now. Goosebumps, I felt that as soon as I opened this live. I didn't see the name of the channel. I just saw you, but the moment I started watching, I was like, wait, this is the money channel. It feels different. It does for me too. I think it brings out a very different frequency and vibration. And that's the thing, that channels and portals and names and numerology and spaces, even online ones, all have their own sort of resonance field, and they bring out a different consciousness from us, from individually and then as a collective. And so I do feel that God was like, hey, why are we not posting on the other channel? Like, bring it back, revive it. There's a different energy there. Mina, would you consider doing an anthropology course in your way, like your take on it and how it applies to us in modern time? It's so interesting when you nerd out about it. Super insightful. So I actually do have courses like that. Huntress is going to be one of those courses that starts at 11:11, but sorry, 11:08. But I'll send you the link. I have it's like my gatheress. Like, this is the Huntress. That's like the gathering. It's called Alchemy and Essential. And I talk about how women evolved as gatherers. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, sometimes I think I have so many courses that people don't realize what I have. This one is gold if you want to learn about why we evolve, like why women behave the way they do right now, why you behave the way that you do. This is like the gathering course. Maybe I should change the name of it. But on 11/8, I've got 6 transmissions coming up in my new course called Huntress. You can buy that separately, Huntress, or you can get it as part of Kainat or the Money, Power, and God bundle. So either one. Money, Power, and God has 18 courses in it, and it's on a pre-order price. Like, you would be crazy not to grab that right now. It is just like my potent transmissions, the most potent all-in-one bundle. Yeah, okay, so if you want to know the gathering side of us, alchemy and ascension will be the best for that. If you are a very driven and ambitious woman, you are part of the 10% of human beings that have what is known as the alpha gene. I call it the hunter's gene. And that is what makes you so driven, so ambitious. And like with anything in life, it comes with gifts and shadows. So in Huntress, we're going to talk about how this gene interacts with your consciousness and how to amplify the gifts of it while minimizing or alchemizing the shadows. So both of those are what I would consider my more anthropology courses. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, I know it. It's like if you want to amplify your gifts, you have to understand this human intelligent body that we're in so that you know how consciousness and like God frequency and energetics and codes interacts with it. So in the money, power, and God bundle, Huntress is included. And it's $44,444. So it's for over $44,000 worth of courses for like a fraction of the price. I wanted this to be like a thank you, yes, kind of an offer. I wanted it to be like a yes, 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 I manifested this, like a no-brainer. And not only is Huntress going to be live inside of there, everything else is like digital. My newest course, which is also happening in November as part of Kainat and Money Power God, and you can buy it separately, is called God. And in God, it's just going to be like you're going to spend the day with me, and we're just going to do transmission after transmission after activation on the frequency, codes, and energetics of all things God. And it's like metaphysical all the way through, and I'm so excited about it. I have a deep desire to go back to school for anthropology because of you, but I fear I won't be able to make a living from it. All of my experiences in homeland defense. I was told that I was not going to be able to make money from my degree because it was all of these sort of what was known as like the soft sciences at the time. And so what I've learned is I get to make the money that I believe I can make. I made money while I was in university from real estate. I was open to that. I've made money from corporate. Before I started my real estate money, for 9 years, I was a stay-at-home mom with no income coming through me, but I was being provided for by my husband. I was okay with that. And then I started this business, and then money started coming from that. And then my husband started his business, and then more money was coming from that. And then our investment. So I don't think that my money is dependent on my degree. It's just one more portal that I'm opening. I love education on its own, but I'm not the type of person that believes that my degree is going to determine how much money I get to make. So that's what I would say. Yeah. I believe that I make money based on my belief codes, my connection with God, my connection with my divine feminine energy, and my willingness, my service, the value that I provide in other people's life. That's where my money comes from. And if you need help with that, I would recommend 2 things for you. Millionaire's Play Shop is really great to remind you that God is the one cutting your checks, not people, not degrees. So Millionaires is fabulous for that. All those links are also in the description box. Or another one is my Money Come to Me transmission. That's going to help you get over your fear. Let me grab that link for you guys. I wrote it as give your money limitations the energetic finger, but it's called Money Come to Me Play Shop. I just thought that was funny. Always follow your desires. Your desires are divine guidance. That's how we know that's what God wants you to do. So if you desire to go back to school for anthropology, like I never say no to God. I follow my desires as if my life depends on it. Whenever I have a question, I say, what would Mina say? And immediately get that answer. Thank you for everything. Brittany! Oh my God, I love that. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. I love it. What else is coming through for you guys? Let me see if there's anything else sort of wanting to transmit through. What I would also add is that don't ever forget to ask for guidance. I think we're all guilty of this. Like you would think even at my journey, like at this point, that I would always remember. And I'm kind of embarrassed to admit that there's times when I forget. And then the minute I remember, I'm like, oh, right, I'm not supposed to be doing this myself. Like, what's wrong with you, Mina? Like, no. And I'm just like, okay, God, what's the next step? Okay, God, how do you want me to do this? Okay, God, this is seemingly hard all of a sudden. Where did I drop you? Because I know when you're with me, everything is easy and I let things be easy. So obviously I've dropped you. Where are you? Help. And you will not believe like the signs that I have just been like, let me give you an example. I asked God, this was about a week ago. I think last weekend. I was like, okay, like what do you want me to do with the channel? Like with this, with like what's the next? I was asking about the Universe Guru channel. I was like, okay, what do you want me to post on there? Like, what are we doing next? Kind of a thing. I literally just said that to God. And then I got the nudge. The desire dropped, and it wasn't immediate, but it was the same weekend. It was like, don't worry about that channel, post on the other channel. And I was like, really? I haven't posted on there in a while. I went and I was like sitting on my phone looking at the channel and I'm like, really want me to post on there? But I started, can you see there was like a mental, instead of being like, okay, God, that's what you want me to do, which is my usual, I went into like questioning it. Then I was like asking my son and then asking my husband and then texting my best friend. And then all of a sudden, I remembered and I'm like, wait, hold on, God. I literally just asked you a question and then I'm like acting like a fool. Okay. If you really, really, really want me to go back to the Million Dollar Babes channel, can you give me a sign? That evening, my hubby and I were watching a show and I had 18 signs back to back to back. And I was like, okay, God, I get it. Thank you. That was very clear. Thank you very much. And this is something that we cannot forget. We have to ask for divine guidance. And it's as simple as, God, what do you want me to do next? Or if this is what you want me to do, can you please show me a sign? It was that simple. I was like overwhelmed. In fact, at some point, I think I was like 6 or 7 signs in. I told Alina, I said, this is what I keep seeing. If you see it too, tell me. And she was like, Mom, he's like really trying to give you the sign. She was shocked. It was like back to back to back. We counted 18. I'm like, okay, we're doing this. Hello, Mina. Thank you for your wisdom. I really feel that I would love to have my own spiritual business. What do you think when I have a lot of interest and don't know what to choose to start with? So what I do, babe, is literally, this is what I say. Dear God, I know you've placed this desire in my heart to have a spiritual business. What would you like for me to do next? Please make it really clear. What is my next step? And then drop it. And then keep your heart open, keep your energy open, because when we're open, we receive the answers really clearly. I also want to just clarify what I mean by a spiritual business. So I have a spiritual business. I have a spiritual marriage. I have a spiritual relationship with my kids. I have a spiritual home. I have a spiritual body. Why do I have spiritual things? Because I am a spiritual person. So because I'm spiritual, no matter what I do, no matter what I touch, it has God in it. So it's not like I was like, I want to start a spiritual business. And not that you're doing that. I'm not directing this at you. I wasn't like, I'm going to start a spiritual business. It's just that this cup is now spiritual. Why is this cup spiritual? And not because it says $1 million babe on it. It's spiritual because I am spiritual and I touched it. This is a spiritual pen. Why is this pen spiritual? Because I touched it. This is a spiritual makeup palette. Why? Because I am a spiritual person and I touched it. This is a very, very spiritual book. Why? Because I am a spiritual person and I wrote this book. Literally channeled it in 3 weeks. And it took 3 weeks because I took a week off to redo my other book that I had written in 2016. So that was included in the 3 weeks. So when we are inherently spiritual, meaning everything we do, every decision we make, every step we take, everything that comes out of our mouth, everything we think, everything we feel, it's like oozing out of our pores. It's in our cellular structure. It's in our DNA. It's spirituality. Whatever you touch will become spiritual. Anything you touch. In fact, this is so important to me. I don't know if I've shared this with you guys, but I tend not to, not on purpose. Let me say this another way. I tend to give my money to businesses that are spiritual, even if they don't need to be. So for example, for the last decade, I've only had doctors that were spiritual, meaning they believed in some kind of a higher power. It could be God, it could be universe, whatever. The scientists, researchers that I look up to, that I follow, have to be spiritual. The businesses that I buy anything from have to be spiritual. Because if they are spiritual, whatever they're putting their creative energy in will be naturally infused with God. And here's the thing, anyone that doesn't include God in their thing, they're missing a huge element to it. If you look at some of the most brilliant people of our time or previous times that we still look up to, whether it was Einstein or Tesla or Martin Luther King or Mahatma Gandhi or Mother Teresa, all of these people were highly spiritual. Whether they actually used the word God or not, they believed in something beyond themselves. And we know from quantum physics that whatever we believe either expands us or limits us. It transforms the things that we observe. And so it is very important to me. It is part of my personal values to play with and co-create with businesses that are spiritual. And it's not necessarily the business, it's the person behind the business. It's the consciousness that's infused in the business. It's very important to me. How does it feel to be spiritual? Oh, that's such a great question. I'm just going to riff on this. Oh, that's so good. Okay. It feels orgasmic. Like there's so much joy, pleasure, money, community, connection, happiness just oozing from you that you kind of don't know what to do with yourself. Like the human body, this container almost can't even contain it. That's why I say it's always oozing out of you, because there isn't enough nerves even there isn't enough nervous system ability to even contain what you can intuit is there. Everything feels magical, otherworldly, easy. It feels, you never feel alone. You feel like God's carrying you. You feel energetic. When you're spiritual, you feel really energetic. Like there's so much energy. Also, time moves really differently for you. And because I also am like nervous system informed, it's so interesting because everything that I've learned from spirituality, everything that even the previous spiritual teachers for thousands of years have been saying has now been confirmed by science, because we know science is a baby. Science has only been around for 500 years. It's a little baby infant, right? But what I love is that science is now lucky enough to be confirming what spirituality has always known. And so when our nervous system gets out of the way, when it's not triggered, when it's not aroused, and for those of you guys that need support for that, I have a 3-week nervous system reboot that will help you, like in 3 weeks, it will completely change the way that you feel in your nervous system. And it compounds. But what I've noticed, and the reason I called it 3-week reboot, is because this is the kind of work that compounds forever. But the biggest change I've seen in myself, in family members, and in my clients was at the 3-week mark. You'll notice a change in a day. You'll notice a change at 3 days. The biggest change for you will be at 3 weeks. Well, people will start noticing it, and they'll be like, are you on something? Are you high? Are you taking drugs? Because you are going to be so connected to the divine because your nervous system literally got out of the way. And then it will keep compounding. I mean, I've never done drugs, so I can't say for sure. Like I've never done like even the spiritual drugs like ayahuasca, or I've never like done drugs in my life, but I'm imagining this is what it would feel like. I feel high, like high on God, high on divine energy. That's what it feels. And when I fall out of it, what the scientific term for that would be, when my nervous system gets dysregulated, I lose the connection momentarily, but I know that it's always available. It's always available. Oh my goodness, so true. I was thinking the other day, we really need to ask more. Yeah, be unknowing in how much you ask. Like, I know like sometimes we're like, this is too small. Like, should I be asking, God or my angels? Yes. Yes. I went through a season in my life where I was like asking my guides and angels and God for like, what color clothing should I wear? Should I choose this nail polish or that one? Should I wear this eyeshadow or that one? Like just to reprogram myself from that, like, this is too small for God. Nothing is too big or small for God. It's all the same. That's so beautiful. I'm going to get to that point in my life. Babe, yes, that is your desire. You're already there. You're already there, gorgeous. You got this. Better do it now. Do it at 16 and then don't forget. Here's the thing. I feel like the younger generation, hopefully, I hope you have not been too deconditioned out of it. Especially if you're watching my channel, I hope that you have love around you and people around you that haven't squeezed that out of you. And so it's just you remembering what was already there. I imagine it like standing in the palm of God's hand. You never have to worry. Honey Faye, that's exactly how I imagine it. Like exactly. Like I cannot believe you even wrote that, but of course, because we're all connected through the field. That's exactly how I imagine it. Like this is God's hand and I'm in the center of it. I'm becoming more aware of when I am in the flow with God and can know not for sure I'm getting into the field versus the times I fall out of it. Paula, yes, that's so key. That's so key. It's literally like, wait, I was in heaven 2 seconds ago. What the hell just happened? Like you become so attuned to the energy and you're like, oh, what shifted? What happened? Did I think a thought that dysregulated my nervous system and I fell out of it? Did someone just walk in the room with the dysregulated nervous system? Because remember, we are co-regulating animals. We're social creatures. And actually, Do you know that everyone in the animal kingdom, we co-regulate? It was a fail-safe mechanism. That if I'm worried about something because there is a threat chasing me, it helped society if I infected all other humans with that fear so they could also run away from that threat. But because we haven't evolved out of that, other people's nervous systems can take us out of our God zone. But what I've learned is the more nervous system work I'm doing and the more deepening my connection with the divine, with God. And if you are uncomfortable with the word God, first of all, I would invite you to expand your capacity beyond that. But wherever I'm saying God, you don't have to believe in God. You can switch it, or you can say, when Mina says God, I'm going to think universe. When Mina says God, I'm going to think quantum field. When Mina says God, I'm going to think higher self or intelligent field. You can replace that. But I used to be so weird with using the word God. And then I decided that I was doing a disservice to myself. I wasn't being honest and I wasn't being authentic. And one of the most powerful frequencies on the planet is the frequency of truth, of your truth. Let me give you an example. Last night at 2 a.m., that's another thing. When I'm like totally in the field, when I'm totally connected with God, I just have bursts of energy. And for some reason, I need less sleep. Like I can't even sleep because I'm so buzzing with energy. So at 2 a.m., I got the download to create the Money, Power, and God bundle. And so I was like, oh my God, I'm so excited. So I go on my phone and I created it. And I told Irfan about it. And he goes, babe, are you sure you want to put the word God in there? And I was like, why not? And he's like, well, you know, like God can turn people off. I'm like, yeah, the wrong people. I'm like, don't you think that I would be dishonest if I told people that we weren't talking about God, but then like God's oozing out of me and like I can't stop talking about God in my courses? It's just like, it's who I am. Like, wouldn't that be weird for them if they showed up and God was mentioned, but it was like, oh, she's one of those, right? So I'm like, I would be dishonest. I love God. I have no hang up with the word God. Do you know how many of my students and clients have said to me, I never used to listen to people who would use the word God, or I didn't even know if I believed in God, and I'm obsessed with God now because of you. So I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna put the word God in there because that's what came through, and that's what I'm gonna call it. And I sure as hell did. It's called the Money, Power, and God bundle. Years ago, when I just found you and was saying I was atheist, I was doing that, calling him just universe and energy, and then was like, who am I fooling here? Yes, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you want to call God energy or universe or the quantum field or whatever, all that is kainat, great, great. But what I've been told is that own it. Own it. Because if there is someone that is triggered by me using that word, then they are not currently an energetic match. And that's okay. I respect where they're at. I respect their journey, but I also cannot dim myself down. Because what if someone doesn't like my name? What if someone's like, I hate the name Mina? Am I going to change that? What if they don't like my husband's name or my children's name or the name The Universe Guru? There's all kinds of people that are like, who the hell does she think she is, calling herself the Universe Guru? Why would you call yourself a guru? I'm like, first of all, the story behind that name is so sentimental for Irfan and I. It's so special. And we were calling the Universe Guru. We were never calling ourselves the guru. However, somehow I became the Universe Guru. That was not the intention. But God gave me that blessing. God gave me that title, even though that's not where the name came from. So how much of myself do I change to make other people comfortable before I'm no longer myself? So there's this interesting, what is this called? If you know, can you please tell me? My husband was sharing this with the kids on a walk. think it was like a year or two ago, that there is this paradox or question that if there is a ship, tell me if you've heard of this. If there is a ship, and let's say that someone changes like one panel on the ship, and then they change another panel on the ship, and then they change another panel on the ship. How many panels do they change before that ship is no longer the same ship? If all the panels are changed, would you say it's the same ship or it's a different ship? I don't know if I'm butchering that. Irfan tells that so much better, but I'm sure some of you guys have heard this. And this really got to me. I was like, oh my God, how much of my light do I dim? How much of my language do I change? How much of myself do I hide before I'm no longer me? Am I still me? Am I still authentically me? And I don't know if anyone else feels that way, but that like really messed with my head for a while. I was like, wow, is it the same ship? And I've decided that unless it's a code from God, that, okay, we're now changing this identity or we're shifting or we're evolving. It's like an organic expression of my next level. I'm not going to change, hide, dim down any aspect of myself, because am I still myself at that point? Am I still who God created me to be? Am I still the same frequency? Right? Nicolas Cage. Oh my God, that's so weird. Irfan and Ayan were talking about Nicolas Cage yesterday. That name hasn't been mentioned in a long time. My dad used to love that actor. And yesterday he was mentioned, and of course someone shows up with that handle. Of course, right? So no, I would rather be hated for who I authentically am than for love for someone that I'm not. Honestly, honestly, because this is who I am. This is where I'm parked right now. Having trouble being in my feminine energy since having our baby. Any advice for this? First of all, congratulations, Brittany, on your beautiful bundle of joy. And what I would say, babe, is that when we have our babies, our hormones can become dysregulated. Our hormones can get out of whack. And that messes, obviously, it's all intertwined with our nervous system, with our consciousness, with our thoughts, with our feelings. So what I would do, babe, is even if it's just for 5 minutes at a time, find something in your heart, in your imagination, in your presence, whether it's you're imagining something or it's actually happening in the present moment, to just be at least neutral with. But if you can be in a place of joy or pleasure, bonus points. Okay, so let's say you're changing your baby's diaper. When you're changing his or her diaper, be really present with your baby. And in that moment, just have like a moment of care or appreciation or gratitude in your heart. That's it. Just being present and saying, wow, I cannot believe I get to be here with him/her. Or if you're having a meal with your family or a moment with your husband, just like really being present. Because when we are present, I talked about this in my nervous system reboot, when we're present with what is, and we're aware of ourselves, like it's like being aware of being aware, it rewires the pathways, the nervous system pathways. So it doesn't have to be a long time. It could be a few seconds of presence, just awareness of the now. And then if you compound it a little bit with pleasure, oh, that's going to take you up a notch. It's crazy how this is even a thing. People have hangups about the word God. People have all kinds of hangups. If you remember, I started this live stream talking about how you can get banned off of Facebook and Instagram by using money, power, and woman in the same sentence. People are funny. People are funny. Hi, Mina. Being a reflector, oh my goodness, that is so rare, Kat. You are like 1%. How do I stay consistent with my up leveling without being affected by my surroundings? So, babe, I don't know if you have my nervous system reboot, but in there I talk about how when you become the strongest energy field in the room, your lower three chakras have to be of high density. I know in the spiritual world, we're always talking about lowering your density, lowering your density. Yes, that's true, but that's only supposed to be for the upper chakras. You never want to be low density in the bottom three chakras because that opens you up to evil eye, that opens you up to entities, that opens you up to all kinds of attachments from people, projections from people. It also opens you up from like to being a sponge, which a reflector naturally is. And by the way, I am a projector reflector hybrid, so I feel you on this, babe. So make sure that part of your daily practice, whatever your spiritual daily practice, your self-care practices, involves those lower three chakras being more dense. And a lot of the practices that I have in the nervous system reboot will help you with this. So I highly recommend that. I've been watching this channel for nearly 2 years and never wrote in the chat. Just wanted to share that I've met you in my dreams. I love it. Thank you, Ellie. Thank you for saying hi. How do you feel into your heart? I struggle so much with this while in meditation. So babe, the same thing that I just said to Kat, I would say to you, the upper chakras are, when they're activated, when they're healthy, they are very light. And because they're very light, they need something to rest on. It's like, think of it this way. Let's say these are the lower chakras. It's like a table. And the lightness of the upper chakras need something to ground themselves on. So when you're meditating, but your nervous system is aroused, it's dysregulated, your chart doesn't allow yourself to fully relax because it's like it feels like to your heart that there is a lion watching you and it can prey on you anytime. There's a threat in the environment, not a real one, but that's what your nervous system is feeling. So it would be the equivalent of you telling me, Mina, there's a lion chasing me. And I'm like, just open your heart. You're going to be like, there's a lion chasing me. You want me to do what now? You want me to become dinner? That's what you would think, right? We have to do something about the lion chasing you first. The point of meditation is to show you that there's actually no lion chasing you. But sometimes if we just sit down and we're just trying to open our heart, but we haven't taken care of the lion, the perceived threat, it's not going to let you open. And so you can do this with nervous system regulation techniques. I've taught you guys a lot in my course, but just becoming like, here's one for you, just becoming aware of yourself in the room. And here's a quick technique. Before you close your eyes to meditate, look around your room and orient yourself. So look for 5 things you can see. Okay. 4 things you can feel. Just you're orienting yourself. Look for the doors and the windows. There is the windows, there's the doors. Another thing is if you're meditating, make sure you have a chair or something with a back. Because our eyes are in the front of our head, we can't see in the back, but a lot of threats came at us from the back. Whether it was other human beings or animals, they would get us from the back. So when we feel unsafe in the back, our body won't relax. Your nervous system will not let you relax. So having something in the back like this, like with my chair, it gives my nervous system the feel that actually my back is covered, that I have eyes on the back because like it's protected, so it can relax. So back is covered. There's the door to my office. Here's windows. I'm aware of my surroundings. What that does, it tells my nervous system, actually, there was no lion. And if there was, I could either jump out the window I could run out the door and my back is protected. So what we're doing is we're sending our nervous system these very subtle cues that we are good. Then when you close your eyes, you can start to relax. Do you see? Like if someone's like, I think there's a lion chasing me, and I'm like, just open your heart. They can't, because their nervous system won't let them. It's like, I can't open my heart right now. Someone can attack me from the back. The lion could eat me. And so first you want to get in the habit of really knowing your animal self and relaxing, okay? So I'll throw in the nervous system reboot again in the chat, because I know this has been such a big revelation for me. I'm so glad, like, I have this really unique thing where like the things that I've studied, like, are super nerdy and scientific, but I'm also like super spiritual. And it almost doesn't make sense because they seem to be like different or opposites as far as other people think. But I think that's my superpower. It's because I understand how your animal self will act. And what I've learned, one of the biggest truths that I've learned is that if you don't know how to tame your animal self, it won't let you connect with God. It will always be the weak link that pulls you back down. It's not necessarily other people. We think it's other people ruining our vibes. It's other people ruining our energy. It's really that we haven't made ourselves energetically strong. We are not the strongest nervous system in the room. So the more stronger you make your nervous system, while also connecting with God, you will become superhuman. Otherwise, if people are just very spiritual, but they haven't done the nervous system work, it's very easy to get them out of the state. You sneeze funny, they're out of it. You look at them funny, they're out of it. You ask a question in a funny tone, they're out of it. It's like circumstantial. I talk about true power versus circumstantial power in nervous system reboot. You want to be in your true power. I want you to be so strong in your nervous system. I want you to be so connected to God that even if a demon shows up in the room, you are still connected to God. Because let me tell you, evil, demonic forces, they are afraid of love. They are afraid of that power that comes from us being connected to God. They feed off the energy of fear. They feed off the energy of fear. I don't want you to be in fear. Of course, we're humanly encoded to be in fear, but I'm giving you the tools. I'm teaching you the way. Regulate your nervous system. Get better at it every day. It's not about perfection. It's about getting better every day. Like the more nervous system work that I do, and I've been doing this for a decade. I started doing this work before I was a teacher and a practitioner in it. And a decade later, I'm still getting better. I'm still getting better. I'm still getting better. And because I'm getting better, the better I get with my nervous system, the better I get with God, the closer I get with God. We all have that ability. We really do. This is so interesting. In human design, I'm open on all higher centers and defined in the sacral, roots, spleen, and solar plexus. That's actually really great, babe. Okay, they're all great. Obviously, all charts are amazing. But other than the solar plexus, I'm similar. I'm open all the way. But then the root ones are defined. And I find that's good for me because I can be in a room full of people with poverty consciousness and it doesn't affect me. In fact, I'll leave them infected with abundance vibes, abundance consciousness, because I'm solid in the lower ones. Now, of course, there's gifts and shadows, right? My top ones are all open. By the way, if you guys have no idea what I'm talking about, in the Money Money Come to Me play shop, Armand, my son, who is an expert human design reader, he's got over 2 years of experience doing hundreds of readings. He has put about 19 transmissions in there on human design. So I just threw this in the chat for you guys. Oh no, that's the nervous system one. Where is the one? Money, Money Come to Me is the one with his transmissions. Here it is. Can your next in-person intensive be on the nervous system? I know this is my biggest hang up. That's something to think about. I will definitely kind of play with that. I would recommend, have you taken my 3-week nervous system reboot, babe? That is a game changer. Everything I teach, because it not only has science in it, it also has the spiritual aspect, it's just going to give you such a big portal. A lot of my nervous system was regulated by the carnivore animal-based diet. Yeah, it really rewires your gut microbiome. I agree with that, Sarah. That's the diet I eat as well. Yeah, it's the original, paleo, like original diet. So yes, carnivore is the best diet, honestly. I was watching this lady talking about the gut microbiome and what the carnivore diet does to it, and it was just like, I sent it to Irfan too. You're my hero. Just hearing you talk, I feel like I can do anything. Babe, I love you. You can do anything. Remember that you are the more evolved genome. You are more spiritual, you are more conscious, like even more than me, more than all of us. You're 16, you've got the latest model of DNA, the latest model of consciousness. You're still more connected to the divine because you haven't been as deconditioned out of it. Like your body is prime, you can do anything. Thanks to Mina, I found carnivore and changed my life and my inner work next level. That gut microbiome, girl, yes. Carnivore like really resets it. I feel you. It's also like the biggest anti-aging diet on the planet. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Marcia said it feels weird, almost like I've lost myself at that point, hiding and changing things when it isn't authentic and truthful for me. Babe, yeah, this is a work in progress. So I feel like a lot of us have had to go through that. I think just checking in with yourself, truth testing, I taught you guys how to do that in Lady Balls, right? Like really truth testing. Is this really the truth of me? Or am I performing? Am I fawning? Fawning is a nervous system state, right? People pleasing, what people call people pleasing. Or is this really true? Is this really my truth? 111 people watching. Yes. Oh my God, I love you so much. When you use the word God, I have a full story on it. I will share inshallah, Sumina. I'm sold on you. Thank you. I want to know now. Now, by the way, you guys know I'm impatient. Don't do that to me. Like, I need that story now. I'm like, what was it? Now I'm curious. You can't leave me hanging. Let's see. I wonder what it was. That's the other thing. Tell me if you resonate with this, but I used to think there was something wrong with me because I'm very impatient and I think very fast, I move fast, I take action fast. I've realized that I'm meant to do it that way. Like God loves speed. He loves speed in me. When I move fast, I think fast, I feel fast, I take action fast. I don't have time to involve the mental plane. I'm like really in that God creative zone. I'm in my zone of genius. I'm in the field. And once I owned that, so much more magic started entering my life. Like the manifestations got faster. My happiness got more potent. Like it's really like creating heaven on earth. And I'm saying this to you because not necessarily because you have to go on my speed, but I think it's really a it's like proof of the fact that we were created a certain way for a reason. And looking at something as like, oh, I'm impatient, or people have called me impulsive, like all kinds of things. But I don't often have time to involve the mental plane. The thing happens and I move forward. The thing happens and it's like done. Let's see. Super off topic, but I had a dream a while ago that you and Irfan opened up a matchmaking academy similar to Seema Auntie. It exploded on the market because we haven't seen it here in the West. I would give anything for Mina to do my matchmaking. Oh my God, I get so many requests like this. The funny thing is, I don't know if I've ever told you this, that when Irfan and I met, one of the things we decided is that we would never do that. And it's so funny because we both have horror stories around that. My mom, Sheena, for a hot minute, she had like a million businesses, but for a hot minute, she had opened a matchmaking agency. And I think I'm like traumatized by that. Also, Irfan had this interesting experience where he set up this couple and they were so happy for years and they were like thanking him and then so happy. And then something went wrong. Dun, da, da, da. And then they got divorced and then he kind of felt like they were blaming him. So he was like, that's it. Like when they were happy, they were happy. But then they got divorced and they kind of like blamed him for that, or he felt like that. I don't know if they actually did. So we're both like, we both have like matchmaking trauma. So we probably would never do that, but we get so many requests. So it's funny. Would you recommend the carnivore diet to blood type A people? We are more adapted to the agricultural diet, but I am not a big fan of veggies. So babe, here's the thing. I would still recommend it because agriculture is not what it used to be. And just because you're more adapted to it doesn't mean you're adapted to it. More adapted does not mean adapted. So I would still recommend it. And the best thing you can do for yourself is test it out. Test it out. There's so many amazing carnivore doctors on YouTube and either also carnivore influencers. One of my dear friend, Lisa D1, is an amazing woman that has been doing carnivore for I think 6 years now, pretty sure 6 years. She has the best videos because she's a rule breaker. She's kind of like, she does it her way. She's kind of a rebel like me. And so watch her videos, watch My Low Carb Life, watch Dr. Buried, watch Steak and Butter Gal. There's so many doctors and Homestead, that guy from, he's amazing too. He's making the documentary, the first carnivore documentary. That makes sense because they still have to put in the work to stay married after being matched. Yes, Kiki, right? Like that, you still have to do the work. Absolutely. So I think we both kind of have like matchmaking trauma from the past, but we do get a lot of requests. And I want you to know we hear you. Maybe we'll heal this once. And if God wants us to do that, then we certainly will. Love you, Mina. I truly appreciate your work. Love from Zambia. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Thank you, babe. Africa is on our list. We're going to do like a tour of different countries. Yeah, I can't wait to see that documentary either. It's going to be fabulous. He shows like little clips of it and I'm like, oh, I can't wait. Yes, it feels off because I need the meat. My body feels great from the recommended A-type diet. Thank you for confirming it. And babe, at the end of the day, right, we have to test it. So for you, it might mean maybe you can have more veggies, but make sure, obviously, even when we eat more veggies, remember that we used to eat seasonally. I talk about this in Alchemy and Ascension, my anthropology course. Now we don't eat in seasons. Now everything is sprayed with all kinds of things. Now everything is genetically modified. So just because we are evolved to eat something doesn't mean that's what we're actually eating right now, right? Because everything's changed so much. And they've studied meat, and even though meat has also changed because of the diets of the animals, it still goes through this double, triple processing system in the cows, like multiple stomachs and all of that, that it's still the easiest thing, the most familiar thing for humans because that's what we've been eating. So yeah. No, I will talk about Sweet Bobby on the other channel. Yeah. This channel is more about my frequency and money and business, but I will be live this week. I am in school full time right now. And so I love it. However, because I'm also like teaching in I'm making excuses now. Like if I wanted to, I'd expand the time, but I was going to make excuses about why I'm not live streaming as much as I want to, but if I wanted to, I'd make it work. So I'll just stop with that. I heard my limiting belief before it came out of my mouth. You two are the only ones to carry people through the real honeymoon stage. Yes, we believe that in my culture that the honeymoon starts 2 years after marriage and it lasts forever. But you two are the ones responsible for it. So I'm gonna actually do a live stream on that on the other channel. Yeah. Your body needs so much protein. I tried vegetarian for years and got so sick. Me too, Paula. And Steak and Butter Gal actually was a vegetarian for 6 years. And she lost her period, her skin, like she shows before and after pictures. You should see this. She's very young. I think she just got engaged, or maybe she's married now. But you should follow her and see the night and day difference. I love that about you the most. You're always growing. Thank you. I have such a hard time manifesting money. Is it because I'm young? Not necessarily. So I would say, what value do you provide for people? The more value we can provide from our skills, from our education, from things that we've embodied or we know, the more money we make. So when you have skills, that's why when you asked me, what you should be doing at 16, I would say, and that's what I wrote about in my seasons in my book, is this is the era to skill stack. When you can do like skills, you learn how to do skills. For example, even like my son turned 20 this month, my oldest one. And for the last 2 years, he has been doing human design readings. Now, there was someone on my other channel writing a nasty comment about like, oh, your son's so young. Why should he be giving life advice? By the way, he's a 20-year-old man. Can we stop like making 20-year-old men feel like they're babies and treat them like babies, but then also judge them for not being manly enough? Like WTF, he's a 20-year-old man. And also, it doesn't, your age doesn't matter. So let me give you an example. Let's say there was someone who was 50 years old and they learned human design 2 years ago, just like Armand, and they did 5 readings since then, but they're 50. And Armand's done on average 5 to 6 readings a day for the last 2 years. Because of the size of my audience, you can imagine that's pretty easy for him to do. And so who would you go with? The 50-year-old who's had 5 readings because he's 50? Or the 20-year-old that's had hundreds of readings, right? So it depends on you. And maybe you would go with the 50-year-old. And so it's a skill. He learned a skill. In fact, when I was teaching him that skill, I actually documented the entire process and created a course out of it. And so many of you guys joined it. And you learned that skill while I was teaching my sons. Both of my sons were in that course, the quantum readings course. And so you can learn a skill at any age. By the way, my now 14-year-old learned that when he was 12. He knows how to do human design readings as well. He can monetize that at any time. He runs my LTTK store, by the way. I don't know if you guys know this. So you can learn skills at any age. At any age. In fact, if I didn't tell people that Armand is 20, most people wouldn't even know. I would say, they would say, oh, I need someone to do my human design reading. I would refer them. They would, especially a lot of you guys say his voice is so masculine, right? You wouldn't even know what age he is. So it really depends on your skill sets, not really on your age. I used to think when I was young and dumb, I used to think that you just automatically get smarter the older you are. Ha ha ha. I find that so funny now. I thought you just sit pretty and age is what makes you smart. And then I would meet all kinds of people at all kinds of ages with all levels of intelligence and wisdom. And I was like, wow, intelligence and wisdom has nothing to do with age. Okay, so learn a skill. Actually, I have a video on this channel. Is it private, members only, or is it open to everyone? Where I talk about one of the easiest businesses right now to start and monetize is readings. And I learned this from my own students. I did not know this. My students would come in private coaching and they were like very young and they were making like $50,000 a month, $60,000 a month doing readings, angel readings, oracle card readings, numerology readings. And I was like, whoa, there's a lot of money. So my older clients that have been doing it for a while, readings were making $150,000 a month, $200,000 a month. And I was like, wow. So I was like, okay, readings is a great spiritual business. That's why when my son was like, Mom, I want to start my own business, and he was looking at all kinds of things, he's like, what would you recommend? And I said, well, honestly, this is what I've been seeing. Why did my fan suddenly stop? Sorry, I'm gonna turn my fan back on. What was that all about? Maybe it's on a timer. So that's what I told him, and he was like, teach me, show me. Oh, here it is. It is not private. Meaning it's not members only. Let me give you the link. It's called Make It Rain Cash in Your Spiritual Business. I can't believe it's been so long. I got a reading with him when he started, and then again this year, amazing readings. Thank you, Paula. He is so intuitive. And here's the thing with skills. I now have to talk to him about human design. Like I have to ask him questions, even though I trained him, because I'm not in it the way he's in it. Because he does 5 to 6 readings a day, he is like expanding his brain around it. He's building his intuition. He's assembled guides that help him do the readings. And because I don't do the readings, even though I trained him, he passed me. So a lot of times it's like how in something you are determines your mastery around it. He's more mastered on human design now than I am. And of course he is. Why would he not be? Because he does it like all the time and I don't. If you guys are interested, a great way to get kind of a sample of his work would be in the Money Money Come to Me play shop. Or if you're like, no samples for me, I just want a reading with him, I will drop his link right here for you in the chat. It's in the description. It's called Human Design Reading with Arman. You're welcome, gorgeous. I'm Eastern European. We rarely have vegans in our culture. I tested the diet for about 8 to 9 months. The supplements are great, and a day or two per week with plant-based food is enough. Beautiful. It's all about testing it out, and you get to be vibrant. You get to live your best life. He's the Doogie Howser of HD, LOL. Love that he started so young. It's like any kid starting in a family business, they get more knowledge and experience naturally. My son is like that with our company. I love that, Kiki. That's such a great point you make because I've seen this routinely in our culture a lot because a lot of time in our culture, it's very normal for the parents to start a company and then the kids to take it over. And so I'm surrounded by that in my neighborhood. I'm surrounded by that in family and friends. And the kids always add like a new element to the business and just take it to a next level. So I know exactly what you mean. And I'm so glad to hear that your son has taken over and taken it to the next level. Omina, when I am a follower of yours for a longest time and I found you when I was finding myself and everyone around me was not getting what I want, I was gaining from you the one thing. Okay, I think that's like half the message. I can't wait to hear the rest. I know there's a limit of how much you can type in the chat. Yeah, I can't believe my baby just turned 20. Oh my goodness, time. Time is so funny. It's so distorted. I feel like I'm in a time warp right now. It's moving so intelligently, let's just say, moving so intelligently. I'm waiting for the next bit of your message to come through. Oh, that's adorable. I wonder if I could have that with my kids in the future, family business. That would be divine. I love that kind of stuff. And I loved that before I had kids. When I would see other people's kids like involved in their business, even before I had kids, for some reason, I love that. I don't know what it is. I love legacy. I love passing things down. I love like inheritances and trust funds. Like I've always been like fascinated by that. So yeah, there's something about that that I find just magic. It's like legacy, like handing something down, like having staying power, tradition. Something about that just feels so good to me. 111 again. I love it when it's just like 111. It keeps shifting. For those of us desiring to up level to being a high-end divinity client, what should be our main focus to ascend to that level of coaching? That's a great question. Openness. So let's reverse engineer that, if you will. Let's just play with this, Chris. Let's say what doesn't make someone a high-end divinity client? People who come to a coach or a mentor because they're like, I don't have power. She seems to have power. Let me take her power, or maybe she can give me power. That is not a high-end divinity client because she or he is not someone that sees themselves in power. So when you see yourself as a self-led person, as a powerful person, as a man or woman of substance, of power, your field is different. If you see me or someone else, another mentor or coach, and you're like, I am a powerful person. She is a powerful person. She has some codes that I need. Let's collaborate. That's what makes you a high-end client. That's what makes you a high-level client. When people talk about attracting high-level clients, attracting high-end clients, that's what they mean. What is not a high-end client is someone that comes in victimhood, or they can't see their power and they don't want to activate it. They want your results, but they don't want to do the things that you've done or the things they need to done. Like they don't see themselves as self-led. They think you have a magic wand and you're going to wave it and they're just going to overnight, the heavens will part and the thing will drop. But we all know that it doesn't work like that. And even if it did, they wouldn't have the container for it because they didn't expand with the thing. So in order to become a high-end client or attract a high-end client, we have to see our own power. We have to see other people in their power. And we have to show up ready to extract value from everything and anything. So when I purchase a course or mentorship or read a book or do anything, I already know that there's going to be something in there. A little piece of nugget, one sentence, one transmission, one code that's going to change my life. I've already decided. Why? Because I am the kind of person that knows how to extract value out of things. I am a person of value. So everywhere I go, there is value. I see value. Even if the value is, thank you for showing me contrast. That's not what I want to do. That's not for me. With no judgment, that's not for me. That's still valuable because so many of us get distracted with things that's not for us. So that would be kind of my riff on my transmission around that is like, even when I talked about in my other channel, I talked about, I think that was a members only live stream in there. I talked about the difference between coaching versus mentorship. So A coach is someone that's going to teach you how to do something. Versus a mentor is someone that's embodied in the frequency of it. And so with a coach, you're watching them, you're learning from them, right? Like how they're doing something. With a mentor, it's who they're being. It's their frequency. It's their embodiment. They're like in the Eastern culture, people will follow their mentors around for decades. The mentor may not even speak a lot to them, but it's just the way that the mentor carries themselves, the way that they say certain things or don't say certain things, the way they process things, the way they show up in their life, in their family, in their business. It's a transmission type of thing. So let me know if that lands or that helps you. Let's see. Okay, so Dragon came back. She said, when I'm a follower of yours for the longest time, and I have found you when I was finding myself and everyone around me was not getting what I want. I was gaining from you. The one thing that was not aligning was the connection with God. That is my core. That was not aligning with limitations or ascension. And I was like, when you said God and spirituality, it's also aligned. Beautiful. I'm so glad that you were able to get that clarity. First I want to thank you for your course. Changed my life in a year after doing the work. Obi, which course did you take? I'm now working a well-paying job, but my desire is to be free and share my passion. But now I can. I'm great at my job and enjoy it on 60%, but I just can't spend more time there. I know I'm meant for more, but it's taking time, and the gap between my vision and having to go to my 9 to 5 now is sad. Okay, so there is a lot of science around one of the biggest things that blocks us, and it's one of those human kind of nervous system things, is that most human beings, unless they use consciousness and spirituality, we do not have the ability to appreciate something we've already manifested, which is really, really sad. It's a very human thing. So because of the way we evolved, when we want something, we really, really want it. The minute we get it, we fall out of love with it. Most people are like this. And so when we want something else, we have to almost demonize the thing that we have and hate it to go to the next thing. What I'm inviting you to is to use your spirituality and your consciousness to evolve out of that. So if we can reframe our energy with, I love this because this is what I wanted at some point, and I'm so happy and grateful that I manifested it. Thank God, it was something I really desired. And so instead of but, we're now, and now I also want to do this. So we do this thing where we're able to go into the next thing with love. So when we apply this even to the coaching world or relationships or anything, it's like, oh, I want that. I want to work with that mentor. I want to work with that mentor. I want to buy that course. I want to do this thing. They get it. And it's like, oh, now it's just another thing. And either they have to demonize that mentor, hate that course in order to move on to the next thing. That's a very human thing to do. A rare thing to do is say, wow, I manifested this. I wanted this at some point. I have it. I love it because I have it. And now I want this other thing. Now I want to evolve into that thing. This is something that will require a lot of consciousness because, like I said, we're not naturally wired for this. But if you can learn to do this, you will become the richest, happiest, most content and joyful person on the planet because this is such a rare thing. One of my amazing superpowers that I have is I have the ability to deeply love everything that I have. Even if I manifested it 20 years ago, even if I manifested it 3 years ago, even if I now desire something else, I have the ability to deeply love. For example, my previous home, before we bought this one 2 years ago, I love that home. Loved it. We invested a lot of money. It was a brand new construction when we bought it. And then years into it, I wanted to redo the chandeliers and the floors and the cabinets. And I redid it. I made it even better than it was. I loved that house and I wanted to buy this mansion. In fact, some of my friends were like, but I thought you loved this house. I'm like, yeah, I love that house. But then why do you want to buy the mansion? Because I want to buy the mansion. Yeah, well, but you love this house. Yes, I love this house. If you love this house, why would you want to buy a mansion? I love this house and I want to buy a mansion. They could not understand that you can hold love and appreciation and manifest more. But the thing is, that's exactly the secret to manifesting more. And I'm not doing this as some kind of strategy. That is just the kind of person that I am. I don't have to hate something to move on to something else. I don't have to burn bridges to manifest the next thing. I can love my current car and want a new one. I loved my corporate job and I wanted to start a business, my real estate business. I just have that ability to really, I treat my marriage as if we just got married. I love my husband even more now, even more deeply now. But normal is to take things for granted. So the more time I spend with something, my love and appreciation for it actually deepens versus everyone else. We naturally, it's a very human, it's not wrong. It's just that they haven't evolved out of that. If you can master this one thing, your entire life experience will change. Your entire life experience will change if you can master this one thing. Love everything you have so much, so deeply. I was having this conversation with one of my friends and he said it the best. He said, it's like new puppy energy. And I was like, ooh, what do you mean? He said he has a dog. It's not even a puppy anymore. But he's like, I love my dog as if it's the first day that I got it as a puppy. Every single day, I love that dog as if it's a new puppy. And I'm like, that's it. That's it. That's how I love my children. That's how I love my husband. That's how I love my house, my cars, my clothes, my clients, my courses, all the beautiful things in my house. Because at some point I manifested these things. I wanted them so deeply. Just because I have them now, I'm not going to downgrade their energetic significance in my life. No, their value has now been raised, in fact. Why? Because they're mine. God gave them to me. Their value has gone up because they belong to me, Irfan. They were gifted to me by the divine himself. How would that feel? What would your frequency be in that mode? Let's see. I took the Basic Babe bundle, life-changing. Oh, amazing. Happy to hear that. I'm late, but I think the Money Power Woman block is against the red pill content. Oh, interesting. Perhaps. Wow, this is so true. Demonizing in order to allow myself to have it. I decide to shift my focus. X, but Y, and. Yes, it's the and. No more like but. I love this job. Thank you for giving it to me, God. It served me in this way, and this way, and this way, and I grew, and I grew, and I grew, and I grew so much. Now I want this. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Either way, it's always thank you. We do not have to hate something to move on to the new thing. Hi, Danya. Happy to see you on this channel. She said, I'm learning this now with my home. Less than a year after building my dream home, I discovered my new dream home. It, I can't say that word, perplexed me until you taught me duality. Yep. That was your honest truth in that snapshot, in that moment of time, in that location of time space. But you are a living, breathing creation of the divine. You're always evolving. All of the cells in your body are always regenerating. Your thought patterns are always rewiring themselves. You're building new neural pathways. You're building a new energetic system. Your aura is upgrading. Your consciousness is growing. Your desires get to grow with that. Does that mean that was wrong or bad? No, no. If I took a picture today, does that mean the picture that I took 3 days ago of myself was bad or wrong? No, that was the picture that was me 3 days ago. That was the snapshot. That was the honest truth 3 days ago. Today, I get to have this picture. Forever ago, you had a live stream talking about if you could speak with Oprah, Kim K, or Beyonce, you would pick their brains to see what they say to a previous version of themselves. You're that for me. Oh my goodness, babe. Stop it. Oh my goodness. That is such an honor. I appreciate you. Dania said, I make it a point to daily focus on aspects of my home that I love and ways I can love it more while wanting the other home. Yes, 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 yes. All of it is a divine creation. It's a divine manifestation. All of it is a part of your history. It's a part of your manifestation log. Think of it this way, like think of God looking down and like, what if we're God's social media feed? And God's just scrolling on and saying, oh yeah, and then she manifested this house, and then she lived here for a bit, and then she wanted this car, and then she lost some weight and had to buy a whole new wardrobe. Like none of it is wrong. None of it is wrong. It's just a part of our journey. Like it's like looking through an album of all of our manifestations, all of it. This advice is pure gold. Let's remember the things we now have we once wanted. Yes, we did desperately. Let's be grateful for where we are and at the same time for where we're going. Thank you, Mina. Yes, Valentina. And you know, here's the thing, babe. Sometimes when we say be grateful, the response is, but I am grateful. When I say this, what if you say to me, what if Valentina says, but Mina, be grateful? And I'm like, but I am grateful. Am I? Do you feel like I'm grateful when I say, but I am grateful? Tell me honestly, what comes up for you? Because grateful, it's not a word. It's a deeply embodied feeling that literally changes the resonance field of our heart. You just described my last 3 years: dream home, dream job, weight loss, new wardrobe, now new desires. Of course, and Danya, you're going to be saying the same thing to me again next year, and then next year, and then next year, because you have devoted yourself on the path of the divine. You have devoted yourself as a woman of God, as a woman that's evolving, as growing, as learning new things. Of course, your desires will be a bottomless pit of the divine feminine, and you will keep growing. You're going to have even a better wardrobe and even a bigger house and even nicer cars and dream clients. Of course you will. And none of what you have now will be made wrong because of that. None of it. None of it. I'm so proud to see a Pakistani woman who managed to take the best of Western and Eastern culture. You changed my life. You came to me at my lowest. I found the Lumi with rotational dating in 3 years. What do you mean by Lumi? But thank you, Nina. I'm so happy to catch you live. You are the parent I wish I had. You're gonna make me cry. Oh my God, I love you. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Love the title of this one. One of my favorite manifesting techniques is the gratitude sandwich. Say something from the past I'm grateful for, something from the present, and something from the future. Ooh, that is powerful. Thank you for teaching us that. That is really powerful. Also, can I please have more technique? Love it. You are just full of manifesting techniques. My theater teacher used to tell us, don't go out there and say, I'm happy with this space. Live it, be it. That's it. If Valentina said the same thing to me, be grateful, Mina, and instead of saying, but I am grateful, Oh my God, I love my life. I love my body. I love my husband. I love my kids. I love my business. I love my home. I love my clients. I love my creations. I love the dishes in my home and the car that I drive and my neighbors. I love my friends. I love the sky. I love the birds. I love God. I love all the books. I love all the people. I love my neighbors' neighbors. I love their neighbors. I love my dentist. I love my doctor. I love my kids' friends. I love my extended family members. I love my old life. I love my present life. I love my future life. That would feel very different to you. That would feel very different. Very, very different. Oh, hi, Lola. Haven't seen you in a minute. Sarah said, off topic, your nail polish color is so beautiful. Sarah, I have a whole thing about the nail polish situation. You opened a can of worms. So I have the salon near my house, nail salon, that I love. I love the ladies that work there. I love the energy. They do not have red nail polish. Please explain this to me. They just don't. And so I have to like find red like nail polish color. What nail salon does not carry red nail polish? There's other salons in my neighborhood that have red nail polish. I don't necessarily love their energy. So you're not going to believe what I did. So I went and I bought salon nail polish. I looked at the brands that they carry, and I bought it. And I'm going to, next time I go, which is this week, so this is like orange. And I don't love it, I'll be honest. I love like red nail polish. So I bought it for them. And so now I'm going to take these nail polishes to them and I'm going to say, here's a present for you. Please keep these on stock at all times when I come. Because what kind of nail salon does not have red nail polish? I'm so confused. But I love their energy, and energy is very important to me. Very important. These women are a ball of love. And that's the people I want being in my field. So the only solution was just buy them the damn nail polish. So yeah, I had not shared the story with anyone, but Sarah, she was asking for it, but saying, yeah, I don't love this. When I came home, Alina was like, again, I'm like, I know they don't have red. So I have to, sometimes I get pink, sometimes I get burgundy. And then last time she was trying to convince me that this orange is red. And I'm like, it's not red, but I'll take it. So I ordered it. Next time I go, I'm taking the red nail polish. Gratefulness shows up with an open heart, and it shows up very clearly. Sometimes when I'm really tapped into gratitude, it makes me want to cry when I smile. Yes, nailed it, Valentina. That's it. You know when someone's heart is in gratefulness. It's a different resonance field. They can measure this. HeartMath Institute has done over 30 years of research on this and has been replicated. Last time I checked, it was 30 countries, but I believe it's more than that. I actually have their little device where I can hook myself up to my phone and tell you if I'm actually feeling gratitude or just pretending. It's right here. Like I bought it years ago. Irfan has one downstairs and then I have mine in my office. So like you can't fool gratefulness. It can be measured scientifically. I know I have limitations now, but Mina, I believe inside that I will break any limitations or glass ceilings in a way. And you being you is helping me in various ways you don't know. Mina, I love you. Oh, I am so happy that I get to be that. Yes, if I'm inspiring you to break your limitations too, let's do it. Let's do it. I'm beautiful for your beautiful wisdom. Thank you. I'm grateful for your beautiful wisdom. Thank you, Kat. Let's see. You have that legacy in you, Mina, and I also believe that everyone has that inside. We just have to decode it and pass down the values. Yes, because there's so much distortion in the field. There's so much distraction in the field. But we have to remember who we really are. Your wisdom and insight has changed me. Even though I'm older, you are the big sister I have needed all of my adult life. You are going to make me cry. Thank you, Dania. That means a lot to me. Thank you. The feminine art of receiving. What is blocking me from being able to feel gratefulness completely? I know I should feel it more. I'm somewhat numb. So numb is a nervous system state that happens when we have overwhelmed our nervous system by feeling something too much. Like it could be a shock, could be trauma. Something happened where your system felt it and it was too much for the system. So in order to protect yourself, it numbs it. But here's what I want you to know, babe. Numbness is you still feeling. Numbness is still you feeling. If you're not able to feel gratefulness completely the way I described it, about an hour ago in the same live stream, I was talking about to someone, I forgot who I was directing this towards, but we were talking about how if your nervous system feels like there's a lion chasing you, and I'm like, just be grateful. You're not going to be able to be grateful. You're going to be like, I'm about to be dinner. You want me to do what now? So I know you have the university bundle. What I want you to do, babe, is I added a new course. I don't know if you've had time to look at it, but it's called 3-Week Nervous System Reboot. And I want you to go to the resource library in there. And I want you to start doing the practices. Just choose one a day. You don't have to overwhelm your nervous system. What you don't want to do with a numb nervous system is overwhelm it, because it went numb because you overwhelmed it. So I want you to choose 3 minutes a day and just choose 1 or 2 practices. You can try all of them and see the one that resonates the most at this time, and that might change. And do that practice for a couple minutes and start slowly letting all of you come online. Because right now there's a part of you that thinks it has to protect you by numbing yourself, so you're afraid to fully feel. But just like when we go to the dentist and they numb our mouth, it's not that we just can't feel the pain, we also can't taste food. So when we numb ourselves from pain, we numb our pleasure. It's the duality. When we numb ourselves from anything that we may have judged as negative or dense or whatever, or dark, we also can't feel the good stuff, the stuff we want to feel. And so it really is about regulating that nervous system, feeling safe and at home in our body again. And this really is the inner work of a lifetime, because it activates everything else. What I don't want is, I know a lot of you guys are so spiritual. You want to connect with God. You want to be in divine communication. What I don't want is your nervous system state blocking that for you because you can't fully let go. I know I've overused this example, but it's important. Your nervous system thinks there's a lion chasing you, and I'm like, just connect with God. You can't relax. And so God is always there. Your connection with God is your natural state. It's your birthright. It's the easiest thing. It's not something you have to learn. You have to relax your nervous system to feel safe enough to allow you to go there. I fall asleep a lot when my nervous system gets overwhelmed. When we sleep is when our neural pathways rewire. It's literally like, okay, like I'm going to sleep and rewire myself. That's why sleep is so important. So that is very, very normal. That happens to me too. When I'm like doing really deep inner work, I sleep a lot more. I'll take naps. Fantastic. Thank you. I will go look. You're so welcome. I'm so glad. It's called, in your dashboard, it's going to show up as Prosperity Pathways Nervous System Reboot, I believe. I don't know exactly how I've named it, but I believe it's like that. Yes, Nervous System Reboot to Prosperity Pathways, and you have that in your portal. Yeah. The human body is so intelligent. It's such an intelligent mechanism. In order to protect us from seeming threats, it does all kinds of intelligent things. But sometimes there's no actual threat. It's just a perceived threat. And so we must make sure that we are sending it the right signal so it's not overcompensating, overprotecting us from things that actually aren't there. And there's nothing wrong or broken with you. That is just an intelligent mechanism of the nervous system. Yeah, I wake up feeling new, reborn. I love that. Absolutely love that. Beautiful. Yeah, that's literally how we rewire. That's why sleep is so important. The other day I said I would be willing to relocate for my future husband, and the other person said, but why would you do that if you like where you live? Because I'd love over there too. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I think some, like, again, like I said, scientifically, it's just that most humans haven't evolved past like the animal kind of wiring. They haven't evolved consciousness, and they think the only way to want something new is to hate what they have now. So we look like unicorns to them. And then they might say things like, well, why can't you be happy? Or why can't you be content? I am happy. But then why do you want that thing? Because I'm happy. But then why do you want that thing? Because I'm happy. Right? Because like they cannot understand that it's just a different way of being, of living, of engaging with life. It's just a new way. It's a conscious way. So ladies, some of you guys are just tuned in. I would love to invite you in my Money, Power, and God bundle. I just launched this today. I literally created it at 2 a.m. last night. I was so excited. And this bundle has 18 different courses, including my latest Huntress and God course that is coming out in November. And it's on an early bird pricing right now. I just dropped the link. It's also in the description box, along with all of my other links. I have so many different things for you to choose from. It's like a candy store. It's like a personal development candy store, honestly. What else is coming up for you guys? I cannot believe how much I've missed this channel and the different consciousness flavor of it. So fun. By the way, I'm also coming back here tomorrow at 9 a.m. Central Time for a delicious chat about the Huntress gene. I'm really excited about. We're going to talk about DNA. We're going to talk about consciousness. We're going to talk about power, money, God, all the things. All the things that I love talking about. And I know you love talking about as well. And for those of you guys that are new, make sure you also sign up for my email list because I send email transmissions there. And when you sign up, you can also get my 21-day money cord cutting exercise. You get a free masterclass. You get my container workbook. You get my wealthy woman activation. There's so much in there. Let me drop that for you guys. Also, it's in the description box. I have grown so much using your content. I initially couldn't take in the money content, but now I feel ready for it. Amazing, Sarah. I'm so happy to hear that. It's so interesting how our consciousness interacts differently as it grows with different content and different transmissions, right? Sounds so good and savage. I won't be able to make 9 a.m. live, but I'll listen to the replay. Beautiful, Paula. Amazing. Also, ladies, the membership on this channel, the $1 Million Babes VIP, has hours and hours of members only content as well. And usually today was the first day, so I opened the chat for everyone, but I'm gonna do like members only live streams as well for it, like the chat. Giving me confidence. Thank you, Mina. You're so welcome, ladies. I will let you guys go. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. And I will see you tomorrow morning. I love you. Bye, everyone. I want to thank you for the last intensive. I went to where you spoke about getting 4 years out in 1 year. It's happened to me. My clinic is open and expanding rapidly. Wow, that makes me so happy. I'm so happy. I think we talked, where did we talk about that? Was that rebirth? Was it at the rebirth intensive? It may have been. But yeah, that's how I like to live my year. I'm in my 4th year this year. So yes, 4th incarnation. Thank you for sharing that testimony. I'm an Iranian girl. The way you see the world and your wisdom and knowledge were the exact things I needed. Just wanted to tell you, you've changed my life for the better. Love and respect from Iran. Thank you, Fatima. I appreciate you. I love Iran. You're a beautiful country, beautiful people. Thank you for sharing that, babe. The fact that you're only 8 years older than me is mind-blowing and lets me know the possibilities of life. I adore you, Mina, and love you so much. Thank you, babe. I love you too. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Good night, everyone. Good week. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. I'll let you guys go enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thank you and congratulations to you as well. Thank you, Lola. That feels so good to hear. Sending you guys so much love, and I'll see you guys here tomorrow. It means the feeling we have to deepen and open up our hearts to abundance and deep Rahman from God Himself. Yes, feeling safe to be able to let God in. All right, loves. I'll let you guys go and I'll see you tomorrow morning.